and record.
Sawa. So we're going to start with introduction. Who is, first of all, who is the Void Atelier? And then who is Bill Munene? And who is Jeremy Mwambi? Just a brief intro of yourselves, what you do, and yeah. So who's going to take it first?
I think Bill
Could we
can
start
on
with
that one.
at what?
Bill can start by explaining what Void is himself, then I'll go next.
So I think we'll start with letter B for Bill.
Yes. So Void Atelier, Void Atelier is it's an animation. Let me say animation studio that myself and Lewis Lee is here. We came together at the end of 2021 to bring stories to to people, and it's really an ambitious thing that we have going on, and we believe that we can make it possible, and make it a space where people can come join us, collaborate, create awesome stuff, and a living, and have fun at the end of the day. That's a brief intro about Void Atelier. About myself, I am an animator, 3D animator. I do sometimes general, like generalist, doing mostly all the stuff. But I saw the need to bring people together and try and find people to work this thing. I'm a huge thing of community, and Jeremy makes fun of that about me being the community guy, because it's necessary to have what work for all those other sectors. I mean, all those pieces of production to create something awesome. Yeah, and I believe that we are able to produce things once we come together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, that's all I can say. Unless maybe there's anything else labda unazouliza.
Okay, nice. Acha tuende kwa Jirea alafu I come back.
Okay, so in short, for me, at first I was dabbling in a lot of, so Jeremy Mwambi does a lot of art. So in short, I've been doing art, my art journey, my fascination and desire, passion, curiosity, obsession, started when I was 8 years old. And I won't forget my first book that I scribbled on was a Digimon book, for those who remember. Come on, if Gen Z, gonna Google it, you can just search what Digimon is. So yes, starting 8, it never left my side. So as it is now, I can just say I'm an animator, I'm a writer, and I'm an artisan, if I put it in correctly. But since now we are more into animation here right now, I can say I'm a writer, 2D animator, character designer, storyboard artist. I can put it that way plainly. So that's much about me. And I'd say I truly love the craft of storytelling because of I'm interested in understanding people beyond the surface. I mean, there are more layers than what you'd see to someone outside. So the best place is just to experience them through and through, beyond what someone can keep from themselves. So anywho, that's just a brief from me. But yes, I always have a sketchpad around me. So yeah, just a fun fact. Then yeah, put that briefly. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. So moving back to Void Atelier, why the name Void Atelier? Like, is there a meaning behind it?
Yes. Mary Beth is saying Lee is co-founder. Yes. Umemweka kwa spotlight. Okay, so I guess you can also join in and answer maybe part of it tukiendelea. So Void Atelier, the whole inspiration was the void, this whole empty space, or we can just say this endless space where we see endless possibility at the same time, in the sense that you can create anything, kind of like a story from from wherever it is in your mind. We see like the viewport, a piece of paper. It's whenever you look at something that is blank, it's a void that you can fill with something. And we intend to bring out anything in terms of storytelling to the viewers. So that was the inspiration for that one, for the void. Atelier is more of a studio, French translation for studio, because we saw, we didn't want to go, void studios. Like, let's be different, let's be unique, and that's how that name came along.
All right. Nice. Hapo mligonga ndipo. So due to public demand, I'm gonna request Lee to just Mskize, introduce yourself, tell us what you do in the studio, and also this is a question to Lee. How many guys are there at Void Atelier?
Lewis, is it mic issue? I'm not.
Okay, I probably think the mic, so
Probably.
we'll just spin. Yeah, but you can mkwasa ngapi kwa Void Atelier? How many people are there in the studio?
We are three, just myself, Jeremy, and Lewis, and we're looking to get more guys to come together as well.
Ah, nice. So okay, I thought it would be more like a void trio, but since it's a void and it's a space that you guys are trying to fill, I mean that's cool. So moving on, I'd just like to understand the brief history of how the three of you came to meet and what brought you together to have this idea of, let's collab, let's merge, get a studio and, get things running.
Yeah. For that, it goes back to 2018. This is when I joined Shangtao, for those who know Shangtao. And recently I've just heard that there's so many alumni that have come through that school. It's an animation school in town where that's where I met Lewis. We're in the same class all through until when we finished. And during that time, we were always talking about the possibilities of, okay, well, what can we do beyond school to further ourselves in terms of developing our skills, finding more people, and creating some amazing stuff. And during that time, I think some time passed. We were still conversing between 2019, 2020. 2021 is now when we got seriousness in that thought, where we're like, let's actually let's do this, let's register a place and get things rolling to give us some kind of pressure. And so we did that. We from Shangtao, we met Lewis, and then during 2021, that's when there was the Ad Animation Bootcamp. That's where now we met you, Ray, everyone, just Kina Kenneth, all of you guys. We met all of you and connected and did the whole program. And during that program is also where we met Jeremy and other people. And we, after finishing the program, we decided, let's, in the spirit of bringing people together, let's bring some extra hand in. So Jeremy came in doing the 2D stuff because we really needed that. We didn't have a 2D guy, and yeah, that's how we met. That's how I met Lewis and Jeremy.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. So I'd like to move into the project you guys created, which is called The Little Things, yeah? So is that your first project together, and or are there projects you've done before?
There's one we did late last year around March. This is more of like a sample project for like a drinking, like a soda advertisement kind of thing. That was our first project that we did before, and then I would say this is our second one. Yes, this is our second one after that. And
Okay.
yeah, that's the second one.
So I'd like to ask, what was the reasoning behind the animation you created, which is pretty amazing. I don't know if guys have watched it, but if they haven't, probably you could share maybe with them a link or share a screen, play it before you explain what the project is about. And yeah, how long did it take you to make? How did you divide yourselves within the project? Who did what and what? And then because it's a pretty good animation. So yeah, what's the little things behind?
So do we play the video now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can play it so our guys watch, because I think it's like a 3 minutes video. So and then now afterwards you can dive into and talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get to the video then.
Okay. You can just share your screen.
Yeah. Share screen. So is it visible? Can you guys see?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can see.
Auntie? Someone saying something? Okay, so let me just play then. Okay, let me expand it. Just,
Your bill. Your sound.
is it you're not able to skiza the
I
sound?
know. Yeah, aina sauti.
Okay, that's strange. Sija mute.
Hebu jaribu kuongeza volume.
Eco max, the volume is max.
You can try and check your settings.
Settings where? Wapi? I'm not using any streaming microphone. This is just on the laptop. Laptop.
Okay.
Are you
Okay.
using...
Sorry. Go on, Shaggy.
Oh, that's like, are you using also the laptop for the whole interview? Are you using like earphones, headphones? What are you using?
No, I'm not using any Situmi headphones.
Or do me headphones using a separate something for the whole interview? Okay, then up on move.
Then I think then do I just share the link for guys to check it out?
Give me a second. Let me see if I can play it on my end.
Okay, so
So, can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you guys hear?
Nope, you can't hear anything.
Yeah, there's no
There's no
audio.
audio.
Yeah, there's hakuna audio.
But try to go to your settings and type in sound and then check the output and the input.
Settings for Telegram.
No, like your settings for your comp.
Okay.
When you go settings, then search for sound and then just check your output and your input. Hapo ndo unakuanga na ka issue saa zingine because sometimes the comp haizi recognize when you're using it. I remember I had some trouble back then because of that.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's probably anyways, it's probably settings somewhere, either on the screen or the player.
Maybe.
But yeah, you can just share the link. I think guys will watch it.
Yeah. Let me do the link.
It's easier that way.
Mi nilikuwa nasikia but it was just low if I'm not wrong. Ebu play it again.
It was low. Okay, let me try again.
You're the only one who's hearing.
Mlango ya Kiislamu.
Bado?
Still can't hear
But
on my end.
nobody can hear the sound.
I can't. Mimi say this.
But
Ah.
umepause.
Ulikuwa unasikia sauti?
Ebu cheza basi then.
This video is interesting. Okay. Let me try playing with VLC, probably.
Maybe. Oh, maybe that can work. Maybe.
Let me try playing with VLC. But in the meantime, as I look towards it, maybe you can just tell us what was the whole concept behind the little things.
Jeremy.
Yes. Okay. So this actually was supposed to be a Valentine's nini. It was supposed to drop on Valentine's, but production ikakuwa noma kidogo. So we just decided, anyway, let's just push it. Whatever it is, we just push it and continue. So basically, the whole thing about it is, it's about this guy who had his whole day set. I think it's there on the YouTube nini, the description on the YouTube part, the video, yes, the video. But generally, it's about a guy who simply had planned everything for, as a guy, those days where, it's a special day for your lady, and, it's that time to show your stuff, to impress, and you have everything lined up, but, what happens when, your alarm goes about 2 hours or 3 hours late, and all your plans are in a mix. And generally, it was just about, despite the hardships, you do the best you can. It's all about the effort. So hence, it's all about the little things. So yeah, that was just the general thing about it, and yeah, just as simple as that.
I'd also like to.
Yes, please.
Oh, sorry, I had muted. I was saying that the theme kind of changed even after deciding that it will drop after after Valentine's, because I think Jeremy, remember we were talking about how gifting, being something about gifting during Valentine's,
Yeah.
and it changed to okay, now how can we change this and make it something else that will still make sense with the original idea that we kind of had. And so it's evolved to the little things that we can do, for someone. What can you do that matters to someone in a little, in a small way?
Oh, okay. So is that why at the video the gifts are wrapped and then it says happy birthday instead of happy Valentine's?
Yeah, that scene needed to make sense. um, let me say it was an addition, yes, to kind of make the whole story flow and fit together. And that's why that scene was actually there, yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna try and show it one more time to see if it will finally play so that guys watch it and then we can continue. If it doesn't, I don't know. Okay.
That's.
You guys can see the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Is there sound?
I think I heard sound.
Just continue playing. Just continue playing.
Okay.
Sound.
Okay. Sauti ilikuwa nasikika?
Yeah, hapo ilikuwa sawa. It was okay for me. I don't know about the rest.
So, pretty interesting animation over there. I'm just gonna ask one question, and then I open the forum to guys who also want to ask you something, so that I don't dominate the whole thing. But I specifically love the fact that you guys decided to go with I'd say zero dialogue. The use of it's more like a silent film aside from the music bed. Was that like intentional, or did you want the film to speak more on its own, like more of action oriented and just follow the story through?
I think that's okay. There's partly partly personnel, lack of personnel, and partly how we also wanted to carry out the story, because initially we had wanted to make it not too long, just quick snapshots of stuff, and quick snapshots of stuff. So we decided, okay, fine, this is what we're going to do, is be able to have scenes that can communicate easily. And so I think that's the way we went with it. And we just rolled. We decided just to make the story like that. And we worked with what we have, be able to communicate. And yes, with enough good storyboarding by Bill, yeah, it worked.
Okay. Pretty interesting. Lack of personnel added up to the story really coming out really nicely. So, any guys in the forum who want to ask either Bill, Lee, or Jerry about the project, now is the time.
The floor is open.
Question. Hello, can you
Yes.
guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
have a question, Nabil. Why did you guys go? I know obviously to save time, but creatively, why did you guys choose a silent film instead of one where the characters are talking?
I think generally I think, like I said, one, it's partly lack of personnel in terms of people who would voice, and then also the other part of it is how the story is actually going to be produced, because of the constraints we had, in terms of we want to just make it simple, yeah, because it was only Bill was the only animator, by the way, so couldn't put too much strain on him, so I was able to make the story in such a way that even if he was animating, he wouldn't have time to strain himself too much in terms of having to animate so many frames. And essentially, storytelling isn't about having dialogue all the time. It's being able to know how to communicate, so to speak. Yeah. So essentially for us, it was mostly about being able to be efficient and being able to come out well with what we actually wanted to say. Yeah. It wasn't about if someone wanted to talk or not, And so the direction was mostly about being able to be resourceful with what we had, I'd say, mostly. If I put it in a capsule, yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
My question is for Jerry. In the story, what would you describe to be the basic conflict?
The basic conflict here is this guy is basically just everything is mostly external. Yeah. Is time has run out. Let's say you wake up late. You have a flight, yeah, and a basic example can be you have a flight and you're 3 hours late, only have 15 minutes to go. So it's more like man versus nature in a way, so to speak. So plus also it rained, when he was leaving the office. So I guess it was him against nature. So it's man versus nature. I can put it as man versus nature, I'd say.
Okay, I have another question. Tongaje, what struggles did you guys the biggest and also minor struggles did you guys have while working on the project?
I think working on this project, the main struggle had been just how to work the video right, I guess, because majorly in production, it's just like at the that we have a lot of personnel to handle everything, so we had to adapt. Like for sound, I went out recording. By the way, some of the environmental sounds I went out recording around the estate, yeah. And Bill got some from the websites he knows, and that's how we worked around sound. In terms of sometimes electricity went, so Bill we had to postpone we had to postpone releasing it for a while. So there are those kind of constraints in terms of production. So basically it was just knowing how to solve your own problems. So the minor one I'd say was, I think, trying to find sound. The major one was Stima Kuenda. So yeah, I think that's how it was.
I think I'd also add, in terms of the major, is the side of especially modeling, the environment modeling. I found that I'd done most of the animation in all the scenes, and then when it came to at least kind of trying to get the scenes kind of lively and have a bit of storytelling, there's a bit of challenge because we needed to release the short film, and at the same time we needed to make some, we needed to cut corners in some places. Yeah, the sound was okay. I used some of the sounds that Jeremy recorded especially for I think in the morning when it's asleep, waking up. I think there's some audio of some kids in the background and stuff. Yeah, and also working without we kind of had a storyboard in a sense that we had just ideas ideas in mind, so we went straight to in terms of saving time and development. We kind of went straight to animation instead of going the whole route of the issue with Blender Kit and Sketchfab. You see, now that comes to the consistency of the art style, because the whole short film was kind of very stylized, and the things that you're finding online are quite realistic. So there's a kind of inconsistency there in terms of getting the right assets. That's something that we also kept in mind as well when trying to get models from outside. KPLC, yeah.
Another question then. Swali. I don't know. Render time. I would like to know your render time. Like, how long did you guys take to render the whole thing? And if possible, space. That's another thing I'm going through. Like, especially Lichukwa for the whole render part, if you guys render the whole thing, and the amount of time it took for the whole sequence, for the whole thing to be rendered.
At first, we wanted to use Blender cycles, but seeing that the whole thing is about 4,000 frames, that will have taken forever. because I think each frame, now depending on scenes, was taking from 2 minutes to 6 minutes to render at least one frame. So if you just calculate about 4,000, you'll now see it becomes a lot. And I then decided to switch to Eevee. Of course, now tweaking all the settings to kind of match it up with cycles in a way, and it reduced the whole render time to about, I think, 2 to 3 seconds for most of the frames. So rendering took quite a short time, even I think just a bit less than a day to get everything rendered. And keep in mind there's some back and forth. You render something, you see something, you see there's some kind of issue, you get back to the file, work it out again, render, and then put it together again. Yeah. And in terms of space, we did not use PNGs. We used the MPEG output because we didn't use these layers, rendering in layers for the compositing. Hope nimejibu swali, Brighton.
It's good, but still, what's an MPEG? Your
The
format?
MPEG it's a video format. MKV. It's called MKV.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that Blender outputs, and then from MKV you're able to convert it to MP4.
Oh, okay, interesting, nice.
Yeah.
Mine is more of can I say suggestions?
Yes.
The film was nice. I liked it being a silent film. I think dialogue would have removed tasemaje ka English imepotea. I think dialogue would have made it not as interesting. I don't know. The attention span when it's silent, you keep watching to see what happens next. For my only concern in the story was he told the Nduri guy to deliver, but he ended up delivering. So I think that's where I think that's a part where can confuse the audience, because so did he go get the package to deliver it himself? Neo too, but a suggestion would have been, because the title is The Little Things, and animation, one of the animation principles is exaggeration. So what I would have done would to exaggerate the size of the present, ingekuwa a little bit smaller, and ingekuwa a little bit smaller, but the process of him getting the gift to her would have been like nikionyesha akikimbia just footsteps on paddles, and then afike hapo drenching wet, and then I think it would have been more impactful, like the things, because ameng'ang'ana just to give what he could. Yeah, ni hayo tu.
Yeah, I guess in the story, that's okay. We had discussed that with Deal. Actually, that was supposed to be one of the scenes, but now, constraints, things like bills, that such a scene was not possible. So essentially what was going to be the one for the delivery, the whole part about the delivery was that, of course, you saw that it rained. Yeah. So this guy knew, man, I have to pull through in any way. You get, because this the guy looks like he's going to flake anytime. So, he just tried it a little bit. But yes, we get what you're saying. But that other scene was, for Bill said it was going to be tricky. So, we adapted with what we could.
There's a lot of cut scenes actually.
Yeah.
A lot of scenes did not make it into the into the final maybe the final shots.
Yo, Bill and Jerry, if I may,
Yes.
I think then the guy actually delivered the gift. Let me say why. Even if that was not the intention of the film, because the guy's been worried throughout the whole day. Tangu amke, did you deliver? Nitapeleka bana, you know. But then we see him akifika kwa mlango anapeana gift, the smaller gift. But then the chick turns and looks at the table, which also the guy looks, peeps and checks, and he sees there's a whole bunch of gifts on the table, which means the guy alideliver finally, but he was too worried, got her a gift just in case. That's what I got from the whole story. So it was like, finally, kumbe he made it, you know. But then alikuja tu na kale kadogo just in case. The guy failed him. I don't know. That's how I caught the film, which was like, clever.
It's
That's
open.
Was
a
that
good
the whole point?
perspective.
Yes,
Well,
Maribeth?
It's a good perspective.
That's how I saw it, by the way. I was like, kumbe alifikisha gifts eventually.
I think it
yeah.
was intentional. It was intentional to keep it quite open, and for the audience to take, whatever whatever it means to them. That was the whole intention as well.
But what about you as the creators? Was the gift delivered?
I would
Okay,
say yes.
I'll explain. So you see, the thing is, it was essentially essentially it was supposed to have been, he would have failed. You get, yeah, he would have failed, and this chick would have been crazy, mad, and but at the end of the day, he finally pulled through. He finally pulled through with whatever he could, because that cash was already gone with the Ndudi guy. you know, essentially that was supposed to happen. But now, in terms of now production constraints and what we could do, the whole thing was, yes, essentially at the end of it all, this guy was caught in because essentially it was supposed to be, you'd have seen him rush through the rain, you get, and I've seen him last minute trying to get the gift, because apparently the duty guy hasn't said anything, yeah. And finally, and at the end of the day, it just shows that this guy, irrespective of all the challenges he's faced through the day, that the lady has not seen happen, yeah, he's actually brought something, yeah. So that is the whole of it coming out, that at the end of the day, he still has something, you get, that he's going to bring. Hence now, that little thought of, I need to at least have something. It didn't have to be big, it didn't have to be much, but that whole effort that this guy has gone through, that the shorty doesn't even know, and in most cases, shorties don't know, he just appears with something, So yes, for us, we looked at it in terms of, this guy has gone through struggles, and at the end of the day, he's still kept a thought to at least bring something. So yeah.
Okay. Nice perspective of the story. The credits bit, that was also, I felt like it was a clever way to end the credits. It's more like, we're used to seeing that in live action, like you get the character and then you freeze the frame, put the name beside him or under them, which was really, really nice. Even the boss. So was that also inspired by something that you guys saw? Because I mean, it's different from the animations I've been seeing around.
Yes, it was inspired by this movie, The Bad Guys. The Bad Guys at the end. It's really about this, almost the same in terms of like they take a scene from the whole movie, play it, and then they just put like the introduction. I mean, the name of the person or the character. That's where the inspiration came from that scene. Funny funny thing also, the short for the Mkubwa guy. The Mkubwa guy, that short was inspired by, like, there's this funny GIF for a cat. I think if I find it, I'll just I'll just send it over. And that was the whole inspiration for that scene. But yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Really nice. Generally though, I mean, it's a nice effort you guys put there. And what are the plans that you guys have with the film? You've done it, it's out, and it's there. I mean, it's on YouTube, but so are you planning to put it out on festivals? What's the whole plan around it?
Yes, that's what we intend to do. We're currently looking at what festivals are out there that we can actually send this over to, and get let's see what happens from there.
Okay. Well then, best of luck with all the submissions you're gonna enter, and we hope you win lots of awards. I don't know. Is Liz mic still out? Would like to maybe have one or two words, but if it's not
Can you hear
possible,
me?
yes, we can.
My name is Lewis Joel Amani. I'm a co-founder. Of Void Atelier. As Bill said, yeah, and we are just a bunch of enthusiast storyteller, and that's what we are. We are here. We are all
Lewis,
about.
your mic is far.
Oh my, sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me okay?
Can guys hear him?
Bill, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Again.
You have to shout.
So, do I need to say my names again? Again, my name is Lewis Joel. I'm Ali. I'm a co-founder of Void Atelier, as Bill mentioned earlier. Yeah, and why Void? We are just a bunch of enthusiast storytellers, and that's what we want to tell. That's what we want to do. And this is just one of few projects that Void is putting out there. But again, there are more to come. There are many more to come. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lily. We can't wait for the more works from you guys from Void Atelier. But then, yeah. So I'm gonna put it out there again to the forum if there are any more questions to either Lee, Jere, or Bill from Void Atelier, and about the animation work or about any other thing that you guys would want to know. Muulize hata mastori za makulabu.
Collabs.
Mnafanya collabs.
Na nani?
Yeah, I think I can answer that real quick. Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, as Bill mentioned earlier, we are all about community. We are all about trying to find a team, because we have stories that we need to put out there, and I think little things is just but a start. For example, you can see even on the cast, it's just majorly two people. Myself, I was not in that production. So with the kind of stories that we want to tell in the near future, we will need the workforce. We will need the the workforce. I mean, like the people, the personnel, animators, storyboard artists, 2D artists, VFX artists, and whatnot. So yeah, we are all about collaboration. Bill can go.
Yeah, that's true. We just as I said again, this animation space needs us to come together in terms, to tell in all our strengths, to kind of share projects and work on them and see them through to the end. So yeah, we're up for collaborating on multiple fronts.
Okay, another question. So would you just like to collab in terms of your stories, or someone can come with their own story? How would you go about that? Like, would you prefer vibes ama, like vibes meaning kama story imewabamba ndio mtafanya, ama you're just in for content first and then stories later?
But story is king. I would say we discuss. I mean, we just come together and see what we can do together. I don't think it will be about the vibes really. If you have a story that matters to you and you feel like it's something that you want to put out there, let's do it. Tufanye kitu,
Sawa.
Yes, so so if there are no more questions, I just want to thank Jere, Bill, and Lee for joining us today, and everyone else for joining the session. Those guys who've contributed, guys who are listening in. It's always a pleasure to have you around. Thanks sana Jere. Leo Pata Ken kuongea juu is held up. I mean, thanks Bill, thanks Jared, thanks Lee for gracing us today, telling us about Void Atelier. We wish you guys all the best. Yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, putting amazing content outside there. Keep leaving us in, dilemma. Like, guys were thinking, hey, the story is this way, the story is that way. I know like a feeling for a creative, and you're like, okay, if that's how you saw it, I mean, but nice work. Thanks for joining us. We wish you well with the little things and keep filling the void. Kamakawa, Sindo.
Of course, yes. We'll fill it up.
So I'm just gonna give you guys maybe 2 seconds to give out your parting shots if you have any. And if you're looking out for guys to work with and blah blah blah, you can before we wrap it up.
And say as closing remarks, we thank you. Give us feedback if you can. Feedback is always important, and of course, we're looking like Ninia said, we're looking to grow Sasa now. We're looking to expand. So if you feel like you're ready to involve yourself into creating projects and stuff like that, so we're thinking about many other things in terms of building it, things like also podcasts and stuff like that. But yeah, as we just want to do animation for our lives, that's what we love, Billy is the guy for community as usual, like I said, so he's the guy who likes bringing people together. So yeah, my closing remarks, just give us feedback and all. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, and also on top of that, we're also looking to continue something that we started way back with Lewis. This weekly animation challenges, posing challenges. So that's also something that we're working on. We are looking forward to inviting anyone who is interested to, to take part and promote this animation culture, let me say. And yes, that's my parting shot. Thank you so much for watching the video. Keep sharing, give us feedback, and thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, guys, and that's it for today. Until we see each other again. You guys have the rest of your week nicely, and cheers. Adios.
Peace out.
Cheers.